Hello, Kubrick Lover 1972. It's been a while since I've had a video recorded. Um, so I did say I'm, we're, I'm covering my book collection right now, which is a lot of books. Um, and I was going to go to another box that was strictly movies, but I wanted to show some really huge film books that I own. And the box they were in, they had other subjects like philosophy and literary criticism, and um, there's a novel in there. I'll show those after I show my film books. But this video will be three big film books that I own. The next video will be film books as well, and then I'll finish it with a third video, which won't be film books. It'll be um, other books not pertaining to film, and then after that, I'll go back to film books, or well, actually, this box that I got the books out of for this particular video is bigger than the other boxes that most of my books are in. So, without further ado, let's get to the books. Okay, so, anyways, this is as my YouTube channel says, Kubrick Lover 1972. So, of course, I have a good amount of books on Kubrick, or well, some at least. But there are two I have in this box, and I really haven't read it really, but I think I've looked over it. And this is called the Stanley Kubrick Archives, with you can see his autograph right there. Of course, it takes forever to go through this and show each page, but those are film canisters there. I mean, for example, you got Killer's Kiss right here. Oops. Oh, how can I show this? It's so big. But let me see if I can. Let's see. I'm gonna skip over some. I mean, there's behind the scenes stuff. Well, this is just the first part of the book is just photos. This is Spartacus, for example, will lead to Dr. Strangelove. I haven't read this book. All these books are taking a long time to read. Not that I don't want to read them. It's just, I don't know. Trying to find an interesting picture for. Oh, this right here. This set right here. It was like a giant Ferris wheel, and you had to walk into it. And there's a camera installed like on a track. And if you see this shot right here, right, right, where am I? Right here, this shot. If you see where my hand is right there on the right, Dave Bowman's going down. That's right side up. Over here, Frank Poole is upside down. He's strapped down because it's giving the illusion that there's continual gravity. It spins, so it's supposed to give the illusion that it's creating gravity in space when there's no gravity in space. So. But and then of course you got I don't want to show that picture because it shows nudity. But, well, I don't know if that, let me go back. Well, I guess that's, yeah, I guess I can show this. That's Clockwork Orange. And then one of my, all the, Strangelove 2001, Clockwork Orange, they all happen to be some of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, Barry Lyndon, another one of my favorites. Where he used Zeiss lenses from NASA to shoot in candlelight. Then you got my other favorite film of his, The Shining. So I'm gonna skip Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut. Let's see if there's some. I think there's some behind the scenes stuff in here. I think this is Killer's Kiss here. I think it's Killer's Kiss. There's Kubrick right there at the camera. He got very involved with each aspect of filmmaking. He knew like everything backwards and forwards, and he's using Airflex there. I think he liked the Airflex cameras a lot. I mean, like he used Panavision on 2001, and he used Mitchell cameras, which were used in the past in older film productions because they would fit the Zeiss lenses. That's why he used Mitchell cameras. Here's some storyboards for Paths of Glory. I haven't really looked at this book in detail, but I love Kubrick, so obviously I was going to buy it. I've had this book a long time. Script pages, Dr. Strangelove. Let's see if I can find another interesting. This is the pie fight that was done in the war room. They were originally going to put it in the movie, but they decided to take it out. There's Slim Pickens right there, suspended. They're going to put him on the bomb, to drop. Let's see. Here's some 2001 Space Odyssey. Remember the end there where he lands in that room? Well, this is the crew in the room. So. Oh, I think here's some of the boarded. I think one of them is like this right here. Wait, this right here. I think was an alien that they designed for the end of the film. They decided, Kubrick decided at the end just to make them like aliens, but just energy, and you could hear their voices, but you couldn't see them really. So. Oh yeah, see, here's what I'm talking about. If I can, what do you call that set? I can't think of the name of it, but you can see right here and right there that the I can't think of the name of it. I think it starts with a C. Um, I wish I could remember the what is that thing called? It's got a Playboy interview with Kubrick in here. Kubrick in the Palme d'Or area of 2001. Centrifuge, that's the name. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, so you can see, like, here it is. This is like how they got into the centrifuge to film. Wait a minute. I think the opposite one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm right there. So I don't know if you can see it. You see Kubrick, and I think it's Keir Dullea right there. So let's see. It's got some pictures in here of the Napoleon film in the Clockwork Orange area. You can see Kubrick. Looks like a giant camera there. But he did film with a smaller camera with the cat lady. He filmed with Airflex on that. If I can find it. Oh no, I shouldn't show that. That's nudity. But, yeah, here it is. You can see he has a small camera there to shoot the shots. He also had a small camera, I believe, in The Shining when he's shooting the shot where Jack Nicholson is put in the food storage area in the kitchen. And you see the shot looking up at him from the ground. I think that's Kubrick, laying on the floor, aiming the camera towards him. So there's Kubrick on the set of Barry Lyndon. Of course, remember that scene in The Shining? I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your brains in. And you can see the crew behind there. I think Kubrick worked with very small crews. And maybe that's how he got, part of his control. Because, well, I mean, amongst other things, like here, see that's where the camera is low, where Jack Nicholson will, have his hands up against the storage room door. Okay, so, I'm sorry that I'm not including, what do you call it, Eyes Wide Shut and Full Metal Jacket. I just don't feel like it, I guess. I get, Full Metal Jacket, I like the starting, the boot camp. I like the ending with a sniper, but at the middle of it kind of sags, and the Going to the Chapel part reminds me of Platoon. So maybe he was playing with narrative and he was trying, to break new barriers with filmmaking, but it didn't work for me. But it has great parts to it. And there he is with his family when they were young. Christina Kubrick. So I'm finished with that book. This is another book on Kubrick. It focuses solely, I believe, on Napoleon. I believe at one point you could look online with the book and the interactive kind of thing. So that this is really, really in depth. I mean, it's chock full of stuff. I mean, it must have come. Well, it did come from Kubrick's, um, you know, storage. It came from Kubrick's archives, and I'm just trying to. These look like stamps here in the front, so. Here's the treatment of Napoleon. The treatment is you have a synopsis of what the film's about, like a few sentences. Then you have a treatment. Let's say a film is 120 minutes, and each page is a minute in the script. The treatment's like 3 pages. It's like a summary of what the movie is in a short form. Then you have the outline, where you have each scene with one or two or a few sentences saying what happens in the film, and then you write the script. Or that's one way to go about it. You don't have to do it that way. But, so some notes there. I'm already 60 minutes in. I was thinking of making this a 20-minute video, but maybe it's impossible. I have no idea. Places where they would shoot, I guess. That's what the yellow notes are for. I know I'm skipping over this. You probably would love to see some of this, but it's just too much to look at it. If I showed you like everything, it would take forever, It's very in detail. So, I mean, showing seconds, like, for example, like production assistant, 45 weeks for the production assistant. So, oh, I will mention something about Full Metal Jacket. Because he lived in Britain most of his life. And I think it was the sniper set that they were shooting on. And, in Britain, they take tea breaks. And Kubrick, they already had taken a few breaks. And Kubrick, like, he had lots of patience. So, like with Barry Lyndon, he would wait, sort of like Kurosawa did with Rain, which is he would wait, like, if the sun and the clouds were in a certain way, or it was cloudy for 20 days, but he wanted a scene where it was just blue sky. And remember, there's no computers back in those days, so he would literally wait, So, but he had the power to do that because of who he was, And I think most of his films made a lot of money. Just in fact, Clockwork Orange was, according to the Kubrick documentary and the Kubrick box set, was going to be the highest grossing Warner Brothers film of all time. But when it was pulled from the theaters in England because Kubrick's family was getting death threats, and there were these copycat Clockwork Orange droogs gangs running around England, he had it pulled from circulation in England. And it was only fairly recently, like the last few years or a little more, maybe at the start of the 21st century, that people in Britain could see. Well, I'm not quite sure. Maybe people could see it before. I mean, I know a few people that are British on YouTube, and maybe they know more about the Clockwork Orange history, is whether they could see it or not. But according to the documentary on the Clockwork Orange Blu-ray, it was taken out of access for quite some time. But anyways, so now things like film test, weapons, budget, I don't know, just all this stuff. it's quite overwhelming to look at some newspaper clippings. Maybe I think that one right there, the MGM one with the guy's face, and it might be uh, Robert O'Brien. Uh, Maybe he's the guy that pulled it. I don't know. Because Kubrick, really he had all the locations, I guess, secured and the costumes done and the script done. One of the reasons he stopped was because there was a film called Waterloo with Rod Steiger. I think Rod Steiger played Napoleon, and I think Kubrick had this idea that he didn't want to copy any other film. He wanted to make very unique movies. Like if there are several, maybe that's why he didn't make a Vietnam film for a while, or because he had to make a film that's really unique from the rest of the other filmmakers' work, so that it wouldn't look like he's making it. Because you see other films that come out at the same time, and you have is it Hamburger Hill, Platoon? You have I don't know, Garlands of Stone. If all these films come out, casualties of war, not necessarily are they all bad, but they all come out at the same time. And I think Kubrick wanted to, be distinct. Here's some. Let's see what this is. But it's so full of detail. Costume shots. I guess you have to know that this notes, a letter from Stanley Kubrick right there. I'm not going to read it all or really at all, because it'll take forever. Here's a script. I have a few books, like my Matrix one has the storyboards. I think it's called The Art of the Matrix, and I'll show that at some point when we get to that box. But that Matrix one has the storyboards and the script. So there's some shots or pictures. Maybe they were made back at the time of Napoleon or after. Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like, I don't know if they were made for the movie specifically or what, but it's one of those big great movies that were made, almost made. Might have been a fantastic film, but never saw the light of day. So I think this came with something, but I don't know where it is. It's like a pamphlet or something. Maybe it's somewhere in the book. I don't know. And last, because I know maybe this will go to 30 minutes. I don't know if this one will take as long. Got a little dust on it. I think, was this? Yeah. All three of these books are by a publishing company named Taschen. This is by Steve Shapiro, the Godfather family album. I have a few books on the Godfather. An album you can't refuse. There's Al Pacino on the back there. Marlon Brando, of course, on the front. Of course, oh, there we go. Wait a minute. See right here? That's Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola, with his daughter, Sofia Coppola, who would, in her own right, become a significant director in the future. Makeup for Marlon Brando is Don Vito Corleone. he thought of when he, I guess, auditioned for the role with um, for Coppola. He put tissue in his mouth because he felt like the Godfather had been shot at one time by a gun, So maybe that's that's how he got the type of voice. And this particular scene where Don Vito gets shot and Fredo is sort of helpless, because he's kind of weak character. But and by the way, I think John Cazale is his name, I believe. All the films he was in the 70s, he was like in 5 films: The Conversation, Godfathers 1 and 2, The Deer Hunter, and I think the other one was Dog Day Afternoon. All 5 of those films that he was in, I don't know if he got nominations for actor in all of them, but they were Best Picture nominees, I believe, all 5 of them. And then he died in the late 70s, early 80s, from cancer, I believe. And his wife at the time was Meryl Streep. I don't know if this really has that much to it as far as like behind the scenes stuff goes, There's Coppola. Wait a minute. Here's Coppola directing Brando. I don't know. It just seems to be pictures and not really. Of course, that's Godfather 2 there. I think it's Godfather 2 with Don Cheech. Oh no, wait a minute. That's not Don Cheech. That's Finucci. When Don Vito is young. But Don Cheech is in Don Vito Corleone's youth when he's a boy. Who, remember that kills his mother at the start, in Sicily. It's really not that much here that with behind the scenes stuff. It's just pictures basically of the movie with little quotes here and sprinkled here and there. So I don't know. And I do have The Godfather. I showed it on my DVDs and Blu-rays I have. I do have The Godfather box set. I guess Godfather 3 is in here, maybe. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it is. There. You got Andy Garcia and an older Pacino there. So I guess that does it. That's the end of the video. Stay tuned for the next part of book collection. That will be book collection number 5. It'll be film books again. And then book collection number 6 will be other books not pertaining to film. And then maybe when we get to book collection number 7 video, probably be back to film. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Leave comments if you want down below, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.